Have you ever wondered why, at a time when the global economy feels so uncertain, in the Philippines, massive construction sites are rising at full speed, and new opportunities seem to be knocking on every door? Beneath it all, there's a quiet current turning this nation of islands into Southeast Asia's next promised land. Step into a small cafe in Cebu, and you'll notice bright young faces holding what feels like a ticket into global companies. In Manila, young engineers stay focused along production lines, building components that will soon reach the rest of the world. And out on distant islands, luxury resorts are slowly taking shape, ready to welcome the next wave of international travelers. These scenes feel so ordinary that we sometimes forget the Philippines is becoming a powerful magnet for major investors. And so, what's really drawing global giants to place their bets here? And which sectors are quietly reshaping the country's future? In today's video, let's take a closer look at 6 key drivers behind the Philippines' rapid rise. Number 6. BPO and IT outsourcing, a global service industry. If you've ever been in Manila at night, you might notice something a little unusual. Many office buildings are still fully lit, even while most of the city is asleep. Inside, thousands of Filipinos are still at work, answering calls, processing data, supporting customers from countries thousands of kilometers away. A customer in the United States needing tech support, someone in Australia calling their bank, or a business in Europe handling data. The person helping them might be sitting in an office right there in the Philippines. That's the world of BPO, business process outsourcing. And it's one of the biggest reasons why foreign companies continue to invest heavily in the country. With strong English skills, a young workforce, and competitive costs, and the Philippines has become one of the world's largest global service hubs. Industry data shows the BPO sector now employs over 1.5 million Filipinos and contributes tens of billions of dollars to the economy every year. But what's interesting is this: for many Filipinos, the journey often starts simply, a first job after graduation, a way to support the family, or a stepping stone before finding another path. You probably know someone who has worked in a call center, or maybe you've even gone through those night shifts yourself. Still, behind that rapid growth are real trade-offs. Working on international time zones means many employees stay on night shifts for years. The pressure, the repetition, and the constant pace can quietly wear people down after some time. And here's something worth thinking about. An industry once seen as temporary work for the young is now becoming one of the country's strongest economic pillars. The question is, what happens next? As technology and automation move faster than ever, will the Philippines' BPO sector continue to grow, or will it be forced to evolve just to keep its place in an increasingly competitive world? Number 5. Semiconductor and electronics manufacturing. When tiny components connect the Philippines to the world. Not everyone realizes that the Philippines has been part of the global tech supply chain for decades. In industrial zones across Laguna, Cavite, and Clark, electronics factories run almost non-stop. Inside, technicians and engineers inspect, package, and complete incredibly small components, chips, sensors, and circuit boards that will eventually sit inside phones, cars, and computers sold all over the world. A young engineer walks into a morning shift, checking the production line before products move to the next stage. For him, it's just another normal day at work. But if you zoom out a little, factories like these are exactly why major tech companies choose to set up in the Philippines. Companies like Texas Instruments and Analog Devices and Amcor have been here for years, quietly turning the country into a key link in the global semiconductor industry. The presence of electronics manufacturing brings clear benefits: stable jobs, opportunities for young engineers, and access to advanced technology. Hundreds of thousands of Filipinos are working in this field, from line technicians to highly skilled specialists. But this industry comes with a reality of its own. It moves fast. Technology cycles can push demand up for a few years, then suddenly pull it down when the market shifts. Factories must constantly upgrade their lines, and workers have to keep learning new skills just to keep up. And here's something many people don't think about. Millions use tech devices every day without ever knowing that part of what they're holding has passed through the Philippines. These tiny components are rarely seen, but they tell a much bigger story about how a country is quietly becoming an essential part of the global tech economy. Number 4. Renewable energy. When nature becomes an investment opportunity. Not every wave of foreign investment begins with factories or office towers. Sometimes it starts with something much quieter, the land itself and the way nature moves across it. The Philippines sits along the Pacific Ring of Fire with strong geothermal potential, while also receiving abundant sunlight and steady winds in many regions throughout the year. These natural conditions have slowly turned renewable energy into an increasingly attractive sector for international investors. In recent years, solar, wind, and geothermal projects have been appearing more frequently across the country. In coastal areas, tall wind turbines spin steadily against the sea breeze. In other rural regions, rows of solar panels stretch across open land, are quietly turning sunlight into electricity. For many local communities, these projects mean more than just energy. They bring new jobs, improved infrastructure, and fresh economic opportunities. International investors see a clear reason to step in. The Philippines has long relied heavily on imported energy, so developing renewables is not just about expansion, it's about security. In recent years, the government has also opened more doors for foreign participation in this sector, making it easier for global players to get involved. Still, not every project moves forward easily. Building wind farms or solar plants often involves questions around land use, environmental impact, and local communities. It requires a careful balance between economic growth and environmental responsibility. And perhaps this is the most interesting part. A country often shaped by storms and harsh weather is now turning those same natural forces into economic advantage. The strong winds and tropical sunlight, once seen as just part of everyday climate, are slowly becoming part of the Philippines' investment story. Number 3. Real estate and infrastructure. When cities change faster than expected. In many parts of Manila, the urban landscape has transformed dramatically in just 1 or 2 decades. Empty lots from the past have been replaced by residential towers, shopping malls, and modern office spaces. And these projects don't come from local developers alone. Behind many of them are international funds and global corporations that see the growing potential of the Philippine real estate market. A young employee starting a new job in Makati might begin searching for an apartment close to work. For him, it's just a simple, everyday decision. But on a larger scale, it's exactly these needs: a young population, rapid urbanization, and an expanding middle class that have turned real estate into one of the country's strongest magnets for foreign investment. The global investors see clear opportunities: building office spaces for multinational companies, developing housing for a growing workforce, and expanding infrastructure to support a rising economy. Major infrastructure projects, airports, highways, and urban transport systems are also being shaped by foreign capital and technology. But this rapid growth brings a question that isn't easy to answer. As new developments continue to rise, property prices in many areas have been climbing just as quickly, and that can make home ownership more difficult for many local residents. There's a quiet paradox here. Cities built and modernized through global investment are, at times, becoming less affordable for the very people who live and work in them. And that's a side of progress that isn't always talked about. Number 2. Tourism and hospitality. When natural beauty becomes an economic force. Not every flow of investment begins in offices or factories. Sometimes it begins with beaches, islands, and landscapes that few places in the world can match. With more than 7,000 islands the Philippines has long been seen as one of Asia's most attractive travel destinations. But in recent years, what's changing is not just the number of visitors, it's the scale of investment behind them. Across well-known islands like Palawan, Boracay, and Siargao, new resorts continue to rise. A hotel manager might start his day preparing to Istiqbal international flights that have just landed. For him, it's simply part of the daily rhythm of the hospitality industry. But behind these resorts, hotels, and restaurants are often global tourism brands, international investment funds, and major hospitality groups. Tourism brings clear opportunities, and it creates jobs for local communities, from hotel staff and tour guides to small businesses serving international visitors. In many coastal areas, tourism has even become the main source of income for entire communities. But rapid growth also brings difficult questions. As visitor numbers rise, so does the pressure on local environments and ecosystems. Some popular destinations have even had to temporarily close to recover after tourism expanded too quickly. And perhaps this is the most thought-provoking part. Tourism brings money into a place, but it can also change that place. Quiet beaches from the past can become crowded destinations for global travelers. And that's the balance the Philippines continues to navigate, and as tourism keeps attracting investment from around the world. Number 1. E-commerce and digital economy. When everyday consumption reshapes how money flows in, not all foreign investment is tied to factories or large-scale projects. Some of it begins with something much more familiar, the way Filipinos shop every day. Just look at how people scroll on their phones, place orders, and pay online, and you'll start to see a different kind of economy taking shape, faster, more flexible, and happening almost entirely in the palm of your hand. In recent years, e-commerce platforms like Shopee and Lazada, along with fintech and logistics services, have grown rapidly in the Philippines. A small seller can start with just a phone, yet reach customers across the entire country. And behind every order is a whole ecosystem: warehousing, digital payments, a last-mile delivery, much of it built or expanded through foreign investment. For international companies, this is a uniquely attractive market. A young population, high internet usage, and consumer behavior that keeps evolving year by year. That's why capital isn't just flowing into marketplaces, it's also going into e-wallets, payment systems, data technology, and delivery infrastructure. But the more interesting shift is something quieter. The line between consumer and seller is slowly fading. One person can be a buyer, a seller, and someone earning extra income, all on the same platform. You've probably seen this, or maybe you're already part of it without even naming it. And that's what makes this sector different. It doesn't arrive with the noise of massive projects, but it quietly weaves itself into everyday habits. Investment doesn't just flow into companies, it flows through how people shop, sell, and build their future in an increasingly digital economy. None of these industries exist in isolation. They are connected to technology, manufacturing, services, and the way people work and consume every day. And it's this connection that is slowly reshaping the Philippines' place on the global economic map. But perhaps what matters more isn't found in investment figures or large-scale projects. It lives in smaller changes: a new job, a different career path, a way of earning a living that previous generations never had. These things may seem ordinary, but they're exactly how a country changes over time. Thank you for staying until the end of the video. If these stories feel familiar, or if they've made you see the world around you a little differently, then you might find something worth staying for in the next videos on this channel.